Good morning. I'm Ayya Vimala, and today is Friday, January the 15th, 2021, and I'm here in northern Illinois near Blue Lotus Temple in Woodstock, and we're having a snowy, rainy, one of those combination snow and rain days. So the snow is melting, but more seems to be coming down intermittently. So that can lead to, if it starts getting colder, it'll lead to bad driving conditions. But other than that, the snow is beautiful. There's not a lot of good news in the news today, so it's just more the same and more of the tension and the polarization on view. So try not to be overly focused on the news. Try to cut back on it, because remember, most of what you're listening to is repetitious. I mean, the same news is coming out all during the day, and there may be changes once in a while, but if you listen in the morning, you may be listening to exactly the same things most of the day. So be careful about what you're taking in, because it can just be overwhelming. And if you want to have something uplifting, I recommend going to YouTube and finding good teachers to listen to, or find topics that are interesting to you and other subjects. But there is so much good people speaking about topics that can add to our knowledge base, can help us find wisdom in all of this turbulence. And I think it's a very important time to be careful about what we're taking into our minds. You know, it definitely goes into our body, our physical bodies. So if you're unable to sleep, or if you're having problems with stress-related issues in your life, not being able to sleep, maybe having stomach trouble, or maybe people are noticing that you're irritable, you have to really look at what you're taking in through your senses. Look at the what kind of media you're connected to, and try to find something. If being connected to the outside world is important to you, find things that are more positive, and not just that wheel of this is bad and this is bad and this is bad and this is getting worse. And try I'm not asking anyone to stay out of touch with the world, but we need to be careful about what we take in, and how much we're allowing to come in and maybe physically harm us, or give us wrong information too. So be vigilant, right? Guard your sense doors. And their sense doors are your eyes and your ears, your mind, in addition to taste and smell and touch. We're all probably missing physical touch, and that physical contact with other people, just a hug, or being able to talk and see people's faces without a mask on. So we're all suffering from certain things that are, we're suffering. We're creating our own suffering, but we are suffering from these basic human needs and the loss of them. So what we need to do is put more, practice more, develop your inner qualities. It can help you get through this difficult time. And what you do take into your mind and through your eyes and ears, be very discerning about it. Be careful. So that's probably as important as wearing a mask, but wearing a mask, I think, is absolutely necessary whenever you're around other people who aren't in your very small household bubble. Don't start expanding that bubble. Not just yet. So I want to start saying hello to everybody. It's Friday, and there's a weekend coming up, so think about what you want to do with the weekend. Maybe getting outside and enjoying the beautiful fresh air, and putting on boots if you're where there's snow, and if there's putting on whatever, if the weather is nice and sunny, but just getting outside and being closer to nature is always a big help. So let's start with my wish, because in everything we do need to be thinking not just about ourselves, but about protecting others. And so the Bodhisattva phrases and the Bodhisattva message is all about being a protector and protecting those who need our protection. And these days, that's every single being. And if we think like this and have it become automatic in our thinking and our sitting practice, we'll carry it with us all through the day. So let's start with this. May I become at all times, both now and forever, a protector for those without protection, a guide for those who have lost their way, a ship for those with an ocean to cross, a sanctuary for those in danger, a lamp for those without light, a place of refuge for those who lack shelter, and a servant to all in need. By means of this meritorious deed, may I never join with the unwise, only the wise, until the time I attain Nibbana. So now we can sit, and that's a wonderful way for us to share time. If any of you have ideas, it's always okay to make comments about things you'd like to do in this time we have together, or things you'd like to hear, or questions you might have. And we're sitting more these days because we all need it. It's like a break from having too many other things on our minds, I think. We have craziness in the world in our government, and we have questions about when we're getting the vaccine and when our loved ones are getting the vaccine, and how we move forward and what's next. And I mean what's next in terms of seeing how many people get the vaccines and how it starts, if it does start easing up the numbers of cases. You know, we have all that's all kind of tumbling around in our minds going forward. And we can make choices about what we fill our minds with or what we let go of. And this is when we should be working on that. We're preparing for the future, which is this afternoon, right? Okay, let's sit. And let's take care of the body, because remember, when our mind is full and when we're limited from our usual ways of being, our body takes kind of a beating. It's taking a beating from our thoughts and from our the restrictions and the feeling of tightness that maybe many of us are feeling. So really, as we sit today, be very aware of your physical body. And as long as we're alive, this body is important to us. This body can help us stay healthy. The body gets us around from one place to another and allows us to live simply. And this body ages and does get sick and does die. And when we can, we want to take good care of it. We want to be aware of what's going on within us. Be grateful for the body you have, whether it's a young body or an old body, whether your body is a physical specimen of health and vitality, or whether you deal with chronic illness, chronic conditions, whether you're limited. Your body is precious. And we want to do our best to this body, the best that this body can offer us. Be aware of the body breathing. Be grateful for that breath. Find that posture that allows you to be aware and awake, but comfortable. Don't let tension be building up in your body because you're in an uncomfortable or unnatural position. And work with the body you have. Some people need to be sitting in a chair, especially as we get older. We may be able to get down but not get up so easily. If you're in a chair, let your feet be touching the floor or the earth in some way. The floor, the actual earth, the ground. You can be lying on your back, walking. You can be in bed. Be in a position that is good for your body, not someone else's body. But we want to have our spine uplifted as much as we can. It helps allow us to stay in one spot. If we're slumped over, it can become very uncomfortable. Just be aware of the body breathing. Be aware of your breath, either around your nostrils where you're breathing in and breathing out. Be aware of the very sensitive, very kind of tenuous sensations that you can feel. Breathing in and breathing out. It's very subtle. Or you can feel your breath in your belly, lifting as you inhale, contracting as you exhale. Pick a spot, stay with it for this practice, and let the body breathe naturally. That's its job. Be grateful for that. Be aware of everything your senses are taking in. And just have an awareness of sounds, smells, maybe the feeling of the either warm or cool air on your skin. The taste in your mouth, or the dryness. And be aware of the thoughts moving through your head. And for the practice, when we're practicing and sitting, just let those thoughts be the little clouds moving through your mind. They might be storm clouds. They might be low-hanging depression clouds. But just continue to be aware that they are passing through. And when we sit, we're learning how not to give too much attention to any of these thoughts. We don't need to feed every thought with our attention. So many are just the mind wanting to, the brain wanting to keep busy. Everything's running through our head. And we're practicing not having to take everything so seriously that goes through our mind. Let the clouds pass through. Our thoughts are not who we are. They really don't even belong to us. Just keep having that sensation of letting go. Let your focus soften. If you're dealing with a disturbing emotion right now, be aware of that. If there's anger, you can breathe in anger and then breathe that anger out. Recognize it and just accept that it's there. Sometimes we can look at it and then just allow it to go for the moment. We don't need to focus on it and keep that focus. If we know there's anger within us, or there may be a feeling of sadness or pain, emotional pain, be aware of it. Don't be afraid to recognize it and accept it. Our emotions Our emotions are always there. We're always working with them. As part of our human nature. We're learning to work with them with patience by looking at them, not turning away from them, but then investigating, observing, seeing where they are in our body, just observing when these emotions arise, learning to just allow them to come and then allow them to go. These emotions are not who we are. They don't belong to us. They come and they go. And then we always come back to our breath. That's our anchor. It's very beautiful to be able to let go of the tension, of the fear, of the worry. Even if it's just for a few minutes. We begin to see how we can let these emotions rise up, and then we can work with them with softness, with space, and then just allow them to pass away. And even when they come back, it's not a failure. We're working with emotions all the time. We don't eliminate them. We learn how to work with them. Sometimes if we just investigate and look at them from all facets, that can help us. That can help us allow them to let go, to move away, to float away. We realize they aren't protecting us, they aren't helping us. So little by little, we can let them go. Now keep sitting. Spend as much time as you can every day sitting with yourself, just sitting in silence. It may be prayer for you. It may be centering prayer. It may be meditation. It may just be finding a quiet spot and sitting and being alone with yourself without fighting with yourself. Just being in a peaceful place with yourself, creating that space every day. So keep sitting if you can. I'll be leaving now, but I'll see you on Sunday. I'm trying to think of classes. And I think Bhante Asaji is doing the talk at Blue Lotus tomorrow. So you can get your Zoom link and look around for interesting things to lift your spirits, and try to be out in nature if you can. So take care, everyone, and let's make it together through these rather difficult days. Let's just be honest about it, right? And try to find a smile and try to find some delight in your life, okay? And it might just be the silliest thing. My squirrels do it for me. Take care, and thank you for being here with me.